Hey ho, YouTubers.
Congressman Winship's office. How can I be of assistance?
No way. I got to talk to my buddy Charlie. What's going on, brother?
Not a whole lot. Yes, I'm still alive. Sorry I've missed you the last couple times.
Yeah, I have truly missed you. I had to talk to that wannabe answer machine. He don't even make a good answer machine. What's his name?
Greg?
Yeah, Greg. Nah, I'm just kidding about that. He kind of started growing on me. I did kind of start warming up to him a little bit there. He actually jumped in and started showing that there might be a little bit of hope in that office, you know, like a spark of something. Now, if we can just get Brad Wimpy dipstick out of there and let somebody get in there that truly wants to do something, we'll have it made. The reason why I'm calling, of course, the border, but I was needing you to get Brad there like we're going to get him to do something. But are you aware that they're giving these invaders $10,000 now? Look, they're getting paid to come here. And guess who's paying them? Me and you. We're all paying them. We're paying to be invaded. And are you aware of this 2030 plan? Do you know anything about that?
I believe I've heard other constituents bring it up. Would you mind just refreshing my memory? Because
Sure, we was on the 2015, and that meant that by 2015 that they wanted to own 15% of the United States. And when I say they, I mean all of the Bill Gateses and the Black Rocks. And man, I wish I could remember that bald-headed dude that is the CEO of BlackRock and stuff. But anyway, it's all the corrupt, rich assholes out there. But now we're not on the 2015. Now we're on the 2030, and they are trying to get 30%. They're not trying. They're doing it. They are absolutely doing it. Now, you see, when you catch an animal or something like that, and it's in a cage, you know, it's going to fight and it's going to do everything that it can to survive and get loose. Okay, that as being a white American is what I feel like right now. And it's not just me, because I got done speaking not so long ago to some subscribers of mine, but more importantly, red, white, and blue Americans. And I'm not talking about male, I'm talking about across the board. Females, pick your color. It doesn't make any difference because we're all Americans and we're in this together. But in particular is me, the white male, is absolutely being persecuted and prosecuted right now. And when you have a skin tag, a nutball bag, like Biden, that blatantly says, oh, well, of European descent will be the absolute minority. The absolute minority. And that's not a bad thing, folks. That's what old Skin Tag said. He said, that is a sign of our strength. So the dude literally says that he's going to wipe us out, the white male, and that's going to be a good thing. So I got to tell you, I'm beyond threatened by the skin tag that they're saying that is the president. He never will be my president, and I'm not just speaking for me. I'm speaking for everybody that I talk to. Ask them, and you already know what I'm talking about, Charles. You already know. I'll guarantee you people said that's not my president, and he's not. Look, if I come up to you and I said, Charles, I'm going to steal your car, and it hasn't happened yet, you don't think much about it. And when you confront me and you say, James, I heard somebody said that you was going to steal my car. Well, I am going to steal your car. Oh, okay. And you're blown away, right? What do you do about that? What do you do about that?
I mean, generally, I would like to go to the police to see if they could
You'd like to, wouldn't you? What are you going to do when you go to the police and they don't do nothing? And then I tell you, Charles, I'm stealing your car. Or what about this? Let's flip this a little bit. What about if I say, no, Charles, I'm not stealing your car as I'm opening the door? And you're like, hey, why are you getting in my car? And then I sat down in your car and I say, don't worry, no worries. And you're like, well, why are you in my car? Oh, I'm not really in your car. I'm just sitting
I
down.
don't actually have a car, so...
Well, you know what? Roll with me here, Charles. It's just, you know what I'm saying. And now I'm sitting down on your bicycle, okay? Oh, your woman, okay? There you go. I'm with your woman. And now I'm all hugged up to her real tight and cozy like. And you're like, hey, that's mine. What are you doing with my woman? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just standing here. Well, no, you've got your arm. No, you're wrong. Well, why is your lips pressed up against my woman then, James? I'm like, no, I just need a place to rest my. You see what I'm saying? I mean, we could go real vulgar with this because that is what's happening to we the people. We're getting screwed. That's the vulgarness, see? And they're saying that they're not doing it, Charles. And look, here's what happens. Have you ever been in a ball game or something, or have you been playing? Do you play anything? I got to make sure that you don't say I don't have a car or something. Do you ever play any games? Have you ever played a game with somebody?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had somebody in front of you that's supposed to be and understands the game as well as you do, but you keep telling them, hey, you need to do this in order to score or to get where you're trying to go or whatever. I don't know what game you're thinking about. Yeah. Okay. And then they keep like half-ass trying, and you can tell they're not really in the game. They're just kind of there taking up space, Brad Winston. But or what about this? Whenever you know that you're counting on that person to guard that side or whatever from somebody making a goal against you or something, and you're counting on them, and they keep letting the ball go right by them, and you look over at them and they're doing their freaking toenails, painting them pink with little purple hearts on it, smiley faces. I don't know. You see what I'm saying here? And then you're like, at some point in time, you're going to grab that piece of worthless shit and you're going to do away with them, however, that you have to, Second Amendment. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? I mean, at some point in time, Brad Wenstrup has got to show us, we the people, that he's actually doing something that's meaningful and important that applies to what's happening to us now today in this situation. You see what I mean? Because I know that he's saying that he don't like China, and I know he's trying to do something about homeless kids whenever they're going to school and stuff. Great. Absolutely insanity. What in the world? That's not the issue. Look, he's a representative. He's not representing what everybody that I talk to and that comes to me and talks to me, sends me emails and everything else and says, hey, how come he's not talking about, stopping this corruption and or giving these invaders money and stuff? This is blatantly me kissing up on your woman whenever they're giving 10 grand on a card to the invaders. Have you seen this?
I've seen a lot of the numbers of these groups. Yeah.
Okay, tell me that you cannot understand how insane that is. Not only is that, but that we would keep allowing that. It's like everybody's sitting back, including yours truly, and at some point in time, you're ready to do something. You're ready to throw whoever's in front of you out of your way because they're just in the way and they're part of the problem. So is he going to remain part of the problem? And this is what I'm asking him also. So did you deliver any of my other messages to him?
Yeah. We've been making sure they get up the chain to him, yes, as well as other staffers that sort of whose policy area it is as well.
Other staffers? You mean there's somebody else?
Well, no. So
Ray?
The idea is, right, we assist him.
Greg and all them he's talking about.
This or that, right? So the idea is it gets to more than him, and it gets to other staffers so that other people are aware.
Okay, Charles, do me a favor, brother. I mean this truly when I say this. I like you. You're my favorite answering machine. I'm not kidding you. I truly want to know, do you feel like that Brad is doing what he should be doing right now?
I think he, as one person, is trying his hardest. I think.
Right on, brother.
Four members,
Yeah. You know what? See, I'm telling you, that's why I like you. You are super smart, dude. I'm telling you, you're going to run for something, and I'm going to be voting for you. No kidding. Like, tell him to get his ass out of the way so that we can get you in there. You know? And you know what? I promise you, you can call me at any time, and I'll be right there. But matter of fact, you could hire me, which I'll guarantee you. I promise this to all of Americans. I would not take a salary at all. I would put it towards the national debt. And who is this that we owe the national debt to? Oh, I'm going to change gears on you for a second. Speaking of you becoming representative, now I'm not playing about this. This is straight up serious. I need for Brad, since I already fired him and he won't leave, you did send him the message that he's fired, right?
Yes.
Okay. And did you make it official like a referee here, Gnome?
Yeah, tell him he's fired.
Do you want him fired?
Yeah, absolutely. He ain't doing nothing.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. Now, no, he's doing something. He's just not doing what we want him to.
Well, that's what I
Which is
mean.
not representing, which is exactly what he's supposed to be doing.
Well, that's what I meant.
Hired to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I said it wrong.
Now, he ought to be doing that anyway. But legitimately, straight up, and as honest as I can be, I need for him to start the process of making it so that you don't have to have a high school diploma. You don't have to have even a GED or anything like that, which is absolutely ludicrous and garbage anymore. For people to start running and to for any position, whether that's representative, congressman, governor, whatever it is, mayor, it doesn't make any difference. It's in the way and it's garbage. And how do we know that this is garbage? Well, if you look at other people, Albert Einstein or whoever, you know, which one was it? Didn't even have a high school diploma and stuff.
I think it was Einstein.
Henry Ford, I don't think that he even graduated or whatever, but there's different ones across the board. But what's happened here? I don't know if you know this or not, but here's a little bit of information for everybody. There is a 12 or 14-year-old girl that figured out, 12 years old, thanks, Dome, speak up.
12.
There, okay, there's a 12-year-old girl, incredibly smart, but she figured out, wow, I think it was something already that they knew, but they didn't want us, we the people, to know about it. But do you know every one of the presidents is related? Except for one. Except for one. Did you know that?
No.
You do now. It's a fact, Jack. So look that up and put that in your pipe and toke on that a while.
They tried covering it up by only researching the male side of each president, but this little girl went and did the female side, and that's where she found out that indeed every single president is related.
The ding means our pizza's ready, so we're having pizza. I don't know if you heard the ding there or not. That wasn't a bomb or anything, you know, like that one.
I am jealous of the pizza.
Well, don't be too awful jealous. It's just a frozen one there that we popped in. Oh, you know what?
I find this to be the best.
Real quick, you know what? I agree with you. Some of them used to be, but here's what we got to do. We got to realize that we as Americans are being poisoned now on purpose. We're being poisoned. Have you been looking at your food? Do you check out the ingredients or anything?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, yeah. Okay. Do you know about the bioengineered?
Little bit, not as much.
Okay, bioengineered, and if you look at any Little Debbie cakes, especially Little Debbie cakes, but not limited to, if you look at DiGiorno pizza, anything like that, and it says bioengineered, that's cricket flour. Go ahead.
You now have to check everything because it's even in your cans now. It's in everything.
In your cans?
Yes.
Okay, now this is breaking news here, folks. What do you mean?
I found it.
Canned food?
Yeah, I found it on a can of baked beans a couple weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, so you got to watch your canned food as well now.
Oh, great. So,
You got to check everything.
wow. See, we had just been mainly looking at like box because it's like anywhere there would be flour is usually where you're going to find cricket flour, obviously, you know. But yeah, and this is linked. It's directly linked to causing cancer. They're not saying maybe it does. They're saying it causes. Look it up. Look it up. This is insane. And we're going to the grocery stores and we're buying it. So literally, somebody could say, we got cyanide, but we're putting it in ding-dongs. So come and eat a ding-dong. And wait a minute, that sounds too woke to me. We're putting in zebra cakes, so come in, or little oatmeal cookies. So come and get your poisonous oatmeal, your delicious oatmeal cookies that's laced with cyanide. You know what I mean? Would you do it? Hell no.
Well, look at
But it says bioengineered. Oh, well, that's fine. That just means, whatever. Because if I don't know, it's perfectly fine, right? And that's not fine.
Don't forget about the oatmeal now.
Oh, yeah. Tell about the oatmeal. No, that's good. Tell about it.
Well, the oatmeal is causing, sterilization in men and women.
Yeah, which the depopulation, don't worry, folks, is what the idiot skin tag ball bag Biden says there. He says, don't worry, you'll be the absolute minority. For the first time, you'll be the absolute minority. Now, here's something that I would also ask. I got to thinking, it's like, well, they're coming at white males awfully hard. So what about if you would pick this same question up and move it somewhere, like, I don't know, let's say China, okay? White males is not the minority or the majority there, are they? That would be absolutely the minority. I'm positive of that. Then what about if you would pick this same thing up, Charles, and we would move it to Africa? Do you think the white man would be the majority there?
No.
Absolutely not. But where would be the one place where you could find the white man being the majority?
Europe, historically.
Okay, that's right. European descent, that's right. But you know what I'm getting at, so you don't want to say it, and that's fine, but I'll say it. It's right here in the good old U.S. of A. for now. But they're working on it, and they're working hard. You know what? The number one rated school that was up New Jersey or somewhere like that, I can't remember exactly where it's at right now, but it was the number one rated school, and guess who the majority of the students were? The majority.
I'm assuming you're going to be able to tell me.
Asians. Asian descent. Wasn't a white man. Oh, no. Because, see, China has, they're doing absolutely the most brilliant thing they could do. Not only are they making their future generations smarter, but they're using our ass to do it. What it really reminds you of, it's just like a, what is that called? It's a host, like whenever you're dealing with a
parasite?
Yeah, parasite. Thank you very much. No, a parasite will find a host, and that way it don't have to do anything. The host will find the food. It don't have to do anything except for grow. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're parasites, and what they're doing is they're growing and they're growing. Now, I'm not talking about Americans here. I'm talking about the dirtbag scumbag that is invading us and using us because they want to get rid of us. That's who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, because I've got Asian friends, I got all across the board. But that's not what we're doing. And see, that's what they always try to do. Oh, and here's a big thing that I really want you to know, and I really hope that you tell me that you're already aware of this. But what they're doing now, and when I say they, I mean the Democrats, but it's higher than that. It's the UN. It's all the garbage of the world that's trying to end the United States of America, that us of European descent has created right here, the white man. Okay, they are saying that if you're a Christian, a conservative, or a MAGA or whatever, Make America Great Again, that you are a power-hungry thug. They're trying to make it out like that we're nuts because we believe in the Lord. They're trying to make it out like that we're so nuts because we believe in our guns and protecting ourselves and stuff. But that Second Amendment, see, everybody gets that wrong. Well, not everybody, but most people that I talk to, if you ask them, and this just happened today and it happened yesterday, but these people are awesome Americans, and they're learning. They're woke up, and they are discovering and getting on board and becoming true patriots. But that Second Amendment is for when the government becomes so corrupt that you have to grab them like in the game because you know they're not doing anything. They're too busy having a pedicure on the sideline. Clear as can be now what they're doing. They want to depopulate us. They want the white man. They want the Americans gone. They're waiting. They've waited this time till now, but really they was trying to stay undercover if you think about it, because it was only when their election got interrupted did we discover all this. And Mike Lindell, the greatest patriot of our time, mypillow.com, use promo code whatever, go buy something off the man, he's amazing. He said that if it wouldn't have happened the way that it happened, we would have probably been wiped out, because we would have been asleep so long there's no way to get it back. And you know what, right now I'm telling you, we are the frog in the bird's mouth there, and we got it by the neck, and we better do some worming and squirming and get the hell out of this situation. Because I don't sleep at night. I don't go through the daytime feeling comfortable. I'm not safe. It's not just a feeling. You're not safe. And you know what? Here, you want proof of that? Look up at what see, we keep saying New York, New York, New York, but this is across the country. You know, Gavin Newsom, he's already got California screwed up or whatever, and most of the great Americans done bailed because they said, no way, we're putting up with this evilness, so let's just chop California off and shove it on off towards China where it belongs. It's ridiculous, man. But it is beyond scary, and if somebody says that they're not scared right now and they're not worried or concerned, they ain't going to be a damn bit of good, because we ought to be scared. We ought to be worried, and we ought to be concerned with what's going on. But what I want to get back to and elaborate on further is that I need a bill or something put in there, which really I don't know why it takes a bill. Speaking of that, it's just like when people started getting permits to carry their guns and stuff. Why would you ever do that? I already got all the permit that I need. It's called the Constitution, you know? God-given right to protect yourself. God-given right. So, just like freedom of speech. But, you know, we're not using our rights like that we're supposed to. And you know what? This is not across the world. This is not all over the world. This is right here in this country. So if people don't understand that this is just here in this country, there's a big world out there, and they don't feel the same. So if we do not make this little spot extremely strong, see, that's why that Reagan said, and maybe somebody said it before him, but the way that you protect yourself is you make yourself so strong that nobody even thinks about coming at you. That's where our strength was. And that's the truth. You can prove that time and time and time again. All you have to do is just put a couple of people in a room And I'll guarantee you the smaller person will lose without some kind of a equilibrium. Wouldn't you agree, Charles?
I think, yeah, I think there's some stuff there. I think in a lot of ways, because I was thinking about the permit thing. Sorry, I got hung up on that point you were making there, that it has been become a little too complex, unnecessarily.
Well, thanks for that. Now, yeah, that's good input, Charles. Yeah, see.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, I know you said more, but I was really thinking about that point. That one stuck with me a bit.
So why, if I can ask you, why did that stick with you? Why, in particular, that one and not the one where we need to make it to? Because the only people who can become president is if you've got like a shit ton of money that you can just let go of. You know what I mean? And do you know that Trump is the only one that's actually lost money since he's became president?
I thought maybe George Washington, because that was before they had like salaries and stuff. But I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, Naomi is shaking her head no. So she's disagreeing with you. And you know what? Here,
I wasn't sure.
He didn't lose money. He just lost popularity and fame in his second term because they kept calling him King George instead of president. And
what a great man too. He said, "Nope, I'm not going to be king." That defeats the whole purpose of all these people that died and stuff for that.
The only reason he even ran for the second term was to tie up loose ends that he had already started. He didn't even want the second term because of the way he was treated.
You know, speaking of that, Charles, they have this AI program that just come out. It's Gemini AI or whatever. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, I've been seeing it.
Okay. Well, they asked Mark Dice. There's a shout out. One of the I'm telling you, that dude's smart. But he actually asked it to show him a picture of George Washington or something like that. But it brought it up. But guess what? George Washington was black. And, you know, here's the thing. If he was black, that's fine with me. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have cared. But he wasn't black, you know? I mean, the whole problem is you got to call it like it is. And what they want to do is they want to make this a race thing so that they can sit back and watch the ants in the little aquarium there, you know, build their houses and then fight with each other or whatever, you know, as they're the puppet masters, you know. It's so stupid. Everybody sees through that, you know. I mean, there's brilliant Americans across the board. We are called the melting pot for a reason, and it's absolutely brilliant. But you cannot, and this is proof what's going on, and this is just now really, really hitting me why I'm talking to you, Charles, everybody. But, you know, when you're pouring in that water into your glass of whiskey, if you add it, you know, a little bit at a time, and there's whiskey still, you know, being produced and added also, you know, a few drops of water here or there, whatever, you know, it blends in and it becomes part of the whiskey. You know, obviously there's a lot of water in that. But when it's overdone, like what's happening right now, you ain't going to have a country. Yeah, I'm not for sure if we still do. I know it's never ever going to be the same. It's not the same right now, and just because you're not affected yet, or you're not thinking that you are, and it'll be shown to you. I'm telling you, before this year is out, there's going to be some major, major things that everybody's going to realize about not just this country, but their life. So, I need Brad to start on making it an easier way for whoever the best person is. See, I really don't think that somebody should be able, like lobbyists are garbage. They ought to be handcuffed right now and absolutely locked up in prison for for the rest of their life. Because these lobbyists, and a lot of people don't even know what lobbyists are. So for those who's like me that have to learn these things, you know, a lobbyist, if they want a bill passed or they want marijuana or whatever to become legal, they go in and they cozy up to whoever, and they take them to dinner, or maybe they're looking at a house that they normally wouldn't be able to afford or anything. Hence, whenever these people come in to office, that they leave with way more than what they went in with. And I'm not talking about just because they was good with their salary money that we pay them, because they spit on that. That's been showed time and time again. They ain't worried about $400,000. Isn't it $450,000 the presidential salary? That's for the president. Yeah, isn't it?
Members are about 178.
You said you made 178,000?
No, members of Congress make about 100.
Yeah, I was just kidding you on that, Charles. But
Oh, okay. Like, I make nowhere near that.
I know. I liked how sharp you was with that answer. Now, from now on, that's the kind of way I would like for you to answer whenever I ask you a question about, why Brad's not doing this or certain things or whatever. But we need to recognize that something has to change. Not tomorrow. It's got to change now. It really does. This is not right at all that we are seeing the destruction of our country happening right now in front of us. We're looking at it, watching it happen. And like everybody's looking at each other like, well, are you going to do something? Are you going to do something? Are you going to do something? And I'm going to tell you something. This is ready to kick off right now. All it's going to take is a spark. One spark is going to kick this off. New York City, the truck drivers are boycotting New York over this absolutely insanity with this white-headed ball bag that somebody calls a judge or whatever. That's another thing too. Term limits. Where is Brad at? Tell him. See, I can't ask a question because every time that you ask one of these a question, they'll say, well, you can look that up. You know what I mean? I don't want to look it up. I know he's not working on it. But we need him to make a bill about term limits, because this whole crap with the court, which one is it? The Supreme Court?
Well, the New York one was, I think, one of their, district courts.
No, right. But what I'm saying is, I kind of changed gears here a little bit,
Oh, okay,
Charles.
okay.
The Supreme Court, how do you elect somebody for a lifetime? Come on. There's no way. That should not be. And you know what? We need a visual scale of who does what. Let me explain to you what I mean by that. Have you ever thought about, okay, when you go out in your town and let's say that a piece of paper accidentally flies out of your pocket on the ground. Now, in a normal situation, if a peace officer would see that and say, excuse me, I think you dropped this, and they pick it up. No. Nowadays, it's like, you was littering, I have to put you in torture cuffs, so put your hands behind your back. What did you have to eat today? Where did you shit at last? What's your mother's maiden name? How many kids do you have? Where are you heading to? And how many people are you related to? What's your hair color? When's the last time you shaved? So on and so forth. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. But they have to put you in torture cuffs. Now, how does this work? Have you ever thought about it for real? Because, okay, there you have a cop, okay, and let's say that you don't like, which is 99.9% of the time with those jerks, but if you think that it was unjust, where do you go to? They'll say, well, you go fill out a complaint form. Well, we're not talking about it. Where's the scale? Where is the chain at? Because you have the cop, and then you have the police chief, and the police officer, then you have the police chief. Okay, now who puts the police chief in there? Do you know?
I think sometimes the mayor or city council.
Right, there you go. That's right, the mayor. And sometimes, the service director or something will have something to do with that, right? Well, do you know how many people knows what even a service director does?
I imagine it's relatively few people.
Yeah, do you know?
Hello?
Yeah, do you know?
Oh. Honestly, I don't think so. I think
There you go.
With
See,
the gas, but
and you know what? That's perfectly fine because nobody knows what they do. You know why we don't know what they do? Because they don't do shit. They don't do shit. No, honestly. See, you're laughing, but honestly, you go look. Usually, it's some fat pig or something that's set off into a corner somewhere or whatever, and he just makes a living off of us and does next to nothing. What that is that's for the mayor so that he can deal with the service director so that the mayor doesn't really have to do anything except for, dress up in the daytime and then go get drunk. It happens right here in Jackson County, Ohio. I know it for a fact. I've seen it with my own eyes. Anyway, so if you think about that, Charles, and this is important, okay? Now, let's stop at the mayor for a minute, who does appoint a police chief, usually with the service director that we already talked about. But let's say both of them, the mayor and the service director, where did they come from? Okay, the service director is appointed by the mayor. Did you know that?
It sounds like something that would happen.
Okay, man, I like you, Charles. Okay. So, but the mayor is elected by the people. Okay, so if you have a mayor, and let's say his name is Charles, okay, and we the people elect Charles to be mayor of Jackson County, Ohio. Now, what is your background, Charles? I mean, what did you go to school for? To learn stuff, right? But why did you go to school? I know obviously to learn, but
No. Honestly, I don't know. I was just kind of told to go to college. Looking back, might have gone to a trade school had I thought differently about it. But I went because I liked history and studying Russian. So.
Did you say you studied Russian?
Yes.
Wow. Hey, that's pretty cool. The whole Tucker Carlson thing, going on right now. It's pretty neat. I'll have to put in another phone call to you about that. But for right now, here's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
What would make you qualified to pick a police chief? Because your background, you just said, is in studying about Russia.
Yeah.
Which is not really a good lineup if you think about it, because Russian, it's like, where's your papers at and all that stuff. It's kind of but my point that I'm making here, they're not qualified to have a police chief, to pick a police chief, because who do they usually wind up picking to be a police chief? Somebody that they was told about, or a family member, right, that needs a job. So that drunken uncle that you had or whatever, or that they have, becomes police chief, or this thug that was in school or whatever that used to push around all the little wimpy kids or whatever and take their lunch money. Now he's police chief. What do you think? How do you think, and who do you think he's going to hire to work as policeman underneath of him?
People he knows.
Right. And what's their qualifications to do that? You see what I mean? Listen, this is not just a hypothetical scenario. This is a real deal. This is really what's taking place. And how is this relevant to what's going on? It's all relevant. Because just like whenever you call somebody a leader, they're not leaders, they're representatives. Representatives. But you can't just call them a representative. You have to make them do that. And why do you have to make somebody do something that they spent so much time, effort, and energy into wanting to do that job, to be a representative? Why would you do that? You see what I mean? Okay, the policemen have to respect who it is that they're working for. And obviously they don't, or we wouldn't have the problems that we have now. Because you know yourself, if you talk to people they'll say, what's your feelings about the police? They'll say, one way or the other. Nope, they're no damn good, which is 99.9% of what I'm always hearing about and what I know for a fact. But you always run into some here or there. Every once in a while, they'll say, oh, I ain't got no problems with it. But ask them this question and say, have you ever had to deal with them? And they might say, yeah, I was pulled over one time. They let me go with a warning or something like that, you know. Goody for you. But try standing up on your rights and then see how you're treated. How is this significant to what's going on? Because not only are we being invaded, but if we had people that was in there that really truly cared about this country, they would immediately say, hey, we got to protect this country. We got to jump in here and do something about it. And I'm talking about the peace officers and stuff. All of them. And see, you told me that we had sent 18, I believe it was, highway patrol.
Mhm.
I mean, be careful, don't hurt yourself. Mr. DeWine, 18 people. I mean, we're talking about millions of people that's done invaded us. And you know, honestly, it probably wouldn't make a difference if he'd have sent 100 or 1,000, but it would have said something about his character if he'd have sent something significant, you know. But instead, what he did do is it does say a whole lot about his character and what I already know, that he has no business being in there. And I have no tolerance anymore for people that don't understand what it is that they're supposed to be doing. Because when I, James Preston, know more about somebody's job than what they do, man, we are seriously in trouble. And you know what? Charles, I don't want to be spending my time doing this, honest to goodness. I mean, I do, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I love you, brother, and I like you. I can tell that you're a genuine, real American. I can tell that. But man, this has got to change. We've got to do something different here. You know?
Yeah, don't I know?
We're to the point now to where you can't sit back and say, well, everything's going to be fine because I want it to be fine. You can't put your head down in the sand and this is a absolute 100% fact, true, what I'm getting ready to tell you. I've got several vehicles, and I ran into a guy that I used to know a long time ago. He was a dirtbag then, you know what I mean? But I thought, well, you know, people grow up and they mature and stuff. And he had he's still running a garage, you know? So I told him, I said, well, hey, you know what? I got some stuff that you could help me get caught up on. So I took him multiple vehicles. You know, at first I took him one, you know, he got something done, so okay. So I took him another one, you know, and it looked like that he was moving forward. So I wind up with 4 of my vehicles and was getting ready to take him more. And I had to turn around, and I went back, and I discovered, and he tried to hide it from me, that he's drinking Bud Light. And, you know, I'm like, you know, you could, you know, you could definitely find another beer to be drinking or whatever, because he tried to hide it from me. But I told him, hey, that's your business. You know what I mean? No. And he could have drank his Bud Light and enjoyed his little guy fight. Well, we'll have to edit then. Anyway, yeah, isn't that a shame too? They actually pulled down one of our conversations because I had talked about something that you're not supposed to talk about that goes in your arm that's supposed to prevent certain things. You know, so it's the number that comes after 18 and right before 20. And they didn't like whenever God is creating something and then you tell about how a human being thought it was their place to end that. That's in that certain number that I just described. They didn't like that, so they pulled that down and they give me a strike and everything. But that's just one of them. So anyway, I danced my way around that, which is definitely not freedom of speech. So anyway, that's why I just had to go there. But anyway, back on what I was telling you. And matter of fact, I think what we'll do is I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I appreciate you, Charles. I think you're an amazing guy. I really do, and I mean that. I think you're incredibly smart. But I would really like for you to deliver the demands that we, the people, are wanting done. We don't want him wasting his time on the wasteful things that he's doing right now, because I have read nothing or seen nothing that he's doing right now is really what we want to be represented for him doing. The money that's going over to Ukraine. Oh, real quick little tidbit for all those out there. I was passing a van the other day before yesterday, Noam? Is that what? And I read it, and what did it say? True Star? It said True Star on it. And I don't know why, but I'm like, what is that? It just drawed my attention because it was kind of a plain, but it said True Star. And I said, Noam, look that up. And she got on the phone and she looked up and she said, that's a natural gas. And I said, really? I said, look and see who owns that. And I bet you can't tell me who owns it.
Is it a Ukrainian gas company?
Nope.
Is it China?
Yeah, pretty much. Here, I'll just tell you, because you nailed it right there. If you said Hunter Biden, which China company, Ukraine, you said all of it in one. It's the same thing. Hunter Biden. And also, there's another one that's not True North. It's what?
Blue Star.
Blue Star is also.
It's a subsidiary of True Star.
Who is owned by?
Hunter Biden.
Yeah. So, and the whole Burisma thing, guess who's listed as still owning that?
Is it Hunter Biden? I think Greg might have told me that you were telling him about it.
Why? You know what? Let me tell you something. You tell Greg I said I appreciate him. That's really cool. See, that tells me that you guys are, and that's really good, because I'm telling you, and you guys already know this because you're smart enough to know that I am working for you guys. That's what all this garbage is about. And sometimes I know that whenever you're in a situation that you can't say certain words and stuff like that because of the position you're in, which is another thing that's bullshit, which is what, I'm glad that we come to that. We have to have a bullshit bill and a law put in there. No kidding. For things just like this. That you should be able to call bullshit on whatever. Just like this situation here. If you got something to say, or you want to be able to say something, you should be able to say that. And also, just like on YouTube, with them stifling stuff that shouldn't be stifled, you should be able to call bullshit on. And they're being protected away from being sued right now, but it's coming. I'm telling you. Chile with Delete Laws. If you want to check out something, look at Chile at Delete Laws. Now, he had a personal run-in with the cops and stuff himself. So this guy made himself a constitutional law scholar. And he done all of his schooling of hard knocks himself, and he learned all about the Constitution and different things like that. This guy is amazing. His name's Chili with Delete Laws. So shout out to Delete Laws there. So now I'm going to have to edit this. Usually I don't like to edit nothing. I just like to throw it out there. But because I said certain things or whatever, now I'll have to go through the trouble of having to edit that one little part or whatever. But anyway, so listen, Charles, I appreciate you. Please take that to Brad Wimpy there and tell him that to get on this because as soon as he gets this done, I've got a whole stringer more of stuff. And if he don't get on the ball, we're going to have to throw him out of the game. And I mean that. He's going to have to go. We're going to have to toss him out because he's just in the way. It's like if he can't perform and he can't do his duties, which he can't because his track record is not good. I mean, I'm glad that he saved somebody's life and all that stuff. What's his name?
Steve Scalise.
Yeah, Scalise, man. You know, I mean, I'm thankful that he did that for sure. But you know, he's got to do way more than what he's doing. So God bless the truckers out there. Big shout out to the truckers there. Charles, appreciate you. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. So please pass that along, and we'll be talking to you real soon.
Will do, sir. You have a good rest of your day, and God bless.
Thanks, Charles. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Yep, got to do some editing now because of a few little things there or whatever. But anyway, Charles there, I'm telling you, the guy is pretty smart. But, you know, we don't have any time to be patting anybody on the back or on the hind end or anything else, which is kind of weird. Football players do that. It's kind of weird. Anyway, God bless America. You and yours. We're praying for you. Thanks for praying for us. Love you, Lord. Love you, boss. Call your representatives. What's the number? No.
202-224-3121.
Peace out.